as you know that we are communicating using open text, okay, and it's continuous and it's huge context, you know, in terms of our text or our conversation. Therefore, as we learn from week 1 until sorry, I will do the recording. So from week 1 until now we're going to week 5. So the best method to do the processing is to make it in modular, and doing natural language processing, we are following the even linguists or people from language faculty or language discipline. When they do their processing, depending on the objective also, it will be best to process it according to the structure. What I mean by structure is we will look at the text. Either we wanted to generate it back or either we wanted to process it. So we will look into the text as a whole, okay, with the context, with the pragmatic, and then we can break the text into paragraph into sentences, into looking at the syntax and semantic, and also looking at each of the word or each of the lemma, which is looking at the morphology level. Okay, and at the same time, the morphology, as we know, in terms of the level, it also has sound. Okay, so the sound part is what we are looking at, phonology and also prosody. Okay, so for today, we are very happy to have my research assistant actually. Okay, he's here already. Okay, so I will introduce. His name is Muhammad Amin Hakim. Okay, okay. Let me just share your. If you don't mind, Amin, I will share your CV a bit.
Oh, sure, Ate.
Yeah. All right. Am I sharing? Supposed to share. Can't find your CV now. Okay, this is okay. Not this one. Okay, this is the one. Okay, am I sharing Amin CV?
I can see that there.
Okay, thank you. So thank you to Amin. Even he's actually leaving University Malaya. However, he's attached to us. He's actually our alumni and our faculty graduates. So he experienced everything that you are currently doing. So currently he's my and Dr. Norisma graduate research assistant doing project in NLP. Okay, because of his experience, so it will be very interesting. If you have any other question later on, you can always contact Amin. Okay, so Amin is is our student 2017 to 2021. Okay, so he's currently doing master by full research. Okay, and okay, he's a full fledged group student, and then and all this. Okay, I think later on, Amin, you can ask further with Amin. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you that each one of you, yeah, can become like all of you are welcome to become our research assistant. Okay, and also to join. In fact, I think Amin is in. I think he will join our faculty as an academic
Inshallah.
members, inshallah. I think. Okay. All right. Okay, he's working for industrial training at Top Glove and so on. So some of you who already done your industrial training, you can always contact him. And also he's a palapis laut. Okay, I don't know. Okay, you can look at his CV afterwards. Okay, that's about it about Amin. He can explain further. However, today, our class today I will pass the class to Amin. However, what we are doing today is the purpose of our class today, because last week we do the pre-processing, and of course I think even next week we will continue. You know, the first part after we break according to the level of NLP, even if you are doing data analytic, data science, unstructured data, so you also still need to process the text. Okay, the lower level will be in terms of looking at tokens, stem, and so on. Okay, so I'll pass the floor to Amin. Okay, before that, if you have any question or anything, please put in the WhatsApp group or via email. All right, thank you.
Okay, Dr. Rohana. Thank you so much for inviting me today. So, okay, I was invited today. So basically, my name is Muhammad Amin Hakim. You can call me Amin Hakim. It was any names. So I was invited today to share with you guys about basic text processing. So a little bit about basic text processing is about we have a few modules like tokenizations, and we have a stemming, lemmatizations, and lower casing, and so on. So before I touch on technicalities, I want to share with you guys what is the significance of basic text processing. And later on, I will touch on a bit about how we do it manually and how we can actually implement the libraries to make a very simple call and we can get it done. It's just that the significance of passive text processing is that we can ensure that our data is clean, because text is known to be an unstructured data. It doesn't have any columns like a text data or tabulated data like in SL, SQL. So we need to have a pipeline to process our data, like I mentioned just now, tokenizations, and then stemming. So each of these modules serve its own purpose. So let's say that you want to do a certain project, NLP project, like topic modeling. Sometimes you doesn't have to tokenize the word. You can just straight away go to lemmatizations. And stemming doesn't work in topic modeling. But in sentiment analysis, you need to you don't have to do the stemming part. You can just straight away to the lemmatization part. So ensure that you have a contextual on your vocabulary. But what I want to emphasize that basic there are a few modules in text processing, and then you have to choose which modules actually fits on your project. That's first thing. And the second thing is that if you are a data science student or data related project, right? If you are encountered, you ever heard of a phrase that we call garbage in and garbage out, which means that if a bad data, when you insert into a machine learning model or any systems, you're going to get an output of a bad output. It's because that you train the model with a noisy word, with a noisy data. For instance, that you have a noisy word, like a short form, abbreviations, or something that you did not uh, clean the data, such as you have a word like tell. So tell have many form. Tell, tells, telling. So it should be stemmed into one root word. So this is how you process. So if you not process the data in a structured manner or in a clean way, so it can affect your machine learning model performance as well. So even if you want to use a machine learning or a rule based or even a deep learning model, so this best text processing is actually a first layer of anything before you train a very sophisticated model. It's a fundamental way that you ensure that you clean the data in a structured manner, and then it can be reproduced in a way. So once you have completed the training, so when you want to deploy the model, you have this one set of structured way for you to process the new input and then pass into your deep learning model, machine learning model, and so forth. So without further ado, I will just jump in. So I believe that everyone here have learned the fundamental of programming. So today I will demonstrate using a Python language, since that is my main language that I've been using for my project as well as for my research. And the IDE that I'm using today is Google Colab, since it's free and accessible to anyone. Share my screen. Okay, so I believe that you can see my desktop already, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we start a bit with how we can go with the IDE. So first and foremost, you can go to your drive and you click new here, and then you go to more. So for those who already have been using Google Colab, so you might can just create straight away this uh, the 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 file here. But if you are not familiar, you can just connect more apps, and then you can go to search the collab part, and then you can choose this one and install them. Since I already installed and been using this for quite some time, so I don't have to repeat this process. Okay, so let's start with a new one, Google Collaboratory. So when you
Yeah. Just to interrupt a bit, student, do you want to need sometimes, or you are following hands-on, or you just listening? If you need sometimes, just just interrupt. You can just say, inform Amin, okay?
sure,
Everyone's
sure.
so quiet. Everyone is so quiet. I'm not sure whether they are doing hands-on or they just listening. Okay?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, so I believe I think that you can. This is like when you are watching YouTube lah. We do like a follow along. So might be I will go try. I will try go a bit slow. Since it's quite simple actually. So I will share with you the GitHub link later on, so that you can reproduce the output and just click run time and run all. So then you can get all the same output. So before we start up, so I will take like 5 minutes so we can go with a bit of basic Python. So in the general rule of thumb in any programming language that it has the same concept. We have a variable, we have for loops, while loops. It's just a matter of we have a different syntax. So for probably we have Java. So back then I think FOP you learn in Java, and that's a struct as well. So in Java, usually we have to define what is the data type and what is uh, our variable name, and then we assign them. Same goes to like a string. We tell it a string type, and then might be a document equal to Dr. Rohana is very kind. Okay, let's say. So same goes to float. In Java, we have to define it a float, and then we go with CGPA might be to 3.99. So it works the other way around as well. It's just a bit simple.
This is a question. Do we need to use Colab GPU?
No. Oh, is that a
No.
question? No, it just
Yeah.
you can just use runtime
Colab.
none or none, because we just fairly using a simple.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks for the question. collect. So in Python, we just have to simply say what is our document, what is our variable. Like just now, Dr. Rohana enjoys her mutaba, I guess. So we can know. So here is connecting, initializing. It's initializing our runtime. Then we have, so we can print first. We can just print our output, of course. So and we can check whether what is our type of document. Is a string. So if we comment this out, we say that our document is 10, then our type should be int. So in Python, it's the assignment works automatically, so we don't have to specifically define the data type like in Java. Okay, so I think that's the only thing. So just about touch about the variable and types and how we do the assignment. So okay. So the first thing we go to our first part is tokenizations using a space. So by a default um, definition of tokenization is a breaking a raw text into a small chunks. Basically, if we have a sentence like Dr. Rahana enjoys her mutaba in one sentence, we want to divide them into the smallest chunks, which is the word. So we can see that there is a pattern in here that is splitted by spaces. So when we want to split the one sentence into their smallest chunk, we can just separate them using spaces. That's the most easiest way. So I can just copy paste the here. So this one a simple documents like, so Tesla is looking at the at buying US startup for 6 millions, and the second sentence is Tesla bestseller product is a Tesla Model S. Not a fact, but just for state of our work today. So if we want to, in Python, it's fairly simple for us to split it by token. We can just use the function, a built-in function is split, and then we split it into this Tesla. So we can get the smallest token here. It's just that it's not very intelligent way, because if you can see here, is this sentence ends with uh, a dot, but it's actually taken as one. So you have to adjust a bit here. Then we can get a dot as another a unique word. So let's say we want to know what is our, how long is, how much tokens we have. Then we have 20 tokens, including the punctuation here. But this, if you can see, this is not a unique token, because we can see Tesla is actually repeated 3 times, and then is, I believe, is also repeated twice. So if we uh, want to know what is the unique tokens, which actually implies to our vocabulary. So we in our dictionary we don't repeat is twice. So we have to find the in one sentence, in one paragraph, we want to know what is our unique words. So we can get it by we use a set function. So we just pass the split just now, at least just now, and then we can get the unique. So then we calculate the length. So we have 16. So it means that we have 4 repeated character that is moved, which is Tesla just now is repeated thrice. I believe it's thrice, and then is repeated twice. Okay. And if you want to plane it in a bit of standard manner, you can get it by Okay. Okay, so in other way we have 20 tokens, and then we have 16 vocab. So we go to second part of tokenization using ngram. So a bit about ngram is basically we have n here means repetitive numbers. So ngram by default is actually stand for how much a pair that we want. So if we call it 2 gram or bigram, then we have 2 token in one pair. If we go for 3 tokens, or okay, 3 tokens, then we have 3 tokens in one pair. So let's say that I want to get 2 tokens or by gram. So we can create a list of words here. Dot one dot split by a space. Okay, let's see first. So we have a list of words here, and then we create a temporary list for us to store the word. And for I in range 0 to our n grams. In our I, so it means that we have 2, 0 and 1. So in here we copy, we append the our list words, and then we do a slicing here, I, and we print out what is inside our temp. So okay, I believe this should be temp, okay. And then for 1 gram, oh sorry. Okay, so this part is that we tokenize the word into two sets of pair, because we use a bigram. So so in the sentence is Tesla is break down into two, and then is looking is break down into two as well. So if we choose to do like 4, then we get a 4 tokens by. So this is how we do tokenizations using an anagram. And then we go with okay, stemming. Okay, and oops. So letter. Okay. So stemming is, by the definition, is a technique to extract the base form of word by removing affixes from them. So let's say we have, just now we have, what verb? Okay, buying. Okay, here we have buying. So the root word should be buy. So if we have looking, then the root word should be, the stem word should be look. So in the general of way that we did is, okay, let's create a new sentence lah. Dr. equal to what? Dr. Rohana likes to eat, and while Dr. Norisma and me enjoying their foods. Okay, so this is a simple sentence. Then if you want to, first we have to get the word lah in the document 2, and then split it by space. So we have separate the the new sentence into a word. So we can see that in stemming is a process that we change this stem word into its stem word, and the word that contains affixes, prefix or suffixes like as, ing, and joins, and I think these only two in this verb. So in early days we did it using a rule base. So for instance, we check whether the word ends with s, then we can just print word aside from it last word. Okay, so this is how we get the last word. We use a negative one. Okay, I think I did not. Okay. In Python, for instance, we have the word enjoying, right? So if we want to just show the first one, so it will be E. So this serve as a character. So if we get 0, so we get only E. So if we use E and then semicolon, sorry, a colon and up until 4, then we get 0, 1, 2 until 0, 1, 2, and 3. Enjoy. So it should be 5. Enjoy. So it works the same. If we use the slicing method, we use a negative one, then we start calculating using backwards. So negative one, then we get the G, which is a G part. And then if we add the colon here, so means that we want to start with anything up until the last word. Okay, enjoying. So if we increase to the 3, means that we want to start at the first, we want to start at the first and up until the last 3 character. So using this set of slicing method, we can do the same for this part. So same is ends with s, so we can just ignore the last word s. If OW ends with ing, then we can print with else, can print word itself. So just now we have light. So using a cell simple rules, we can already process it to stem it in by removing its suffixes lah. Enjoy. So this is fairly a very straight way. So then there is a method. I believe that you have heard it in your early lecture. We call this as stemming. Porter a stemmer. So I have a list of code here. Implies on how Porter stemmer works. Okay, let's go one by one. So basically, a Porter stemmer is a rule-based stemming that's back in 1990s. It was developed back in 90s by a researcher. So is the intuitive behind the Porter stemmer is that you need to check whether the word contains consonants or a vowel. A vowel is basically A I O U, and a consonant is consonant is A I O U, and vowel is the other way around. Okay, vowel is A I O U. Sorry. And we have set of 5 steps in here. So if we get a matching of vowel and consonants side by side, so it get one score, which is the M score here. So we call that CVC. Okay, CVC is consonant, vowel, consonant. That's the patterns lah, basically. So there is 5 steps, which the first step have 3, if I not miss, 3 sub steps, which is basically we do the changing of SE. If the words end with SES, then we will replace it with SS. If the words end with IES, then you replace with I. Varieties, then it become variety. SS and something, what, attractiveness. So we can go, it won't do any replacement lah. And if and with S just now we did, so we just remove the S. Same goes with the 1B. So this one is more toward past tense, ed word. So which it will do a checking whenever the word ends with ed or ing. And for step C, this one will end with y, something like shortly. So we have to replace it with I. And these lists, there are a numerous lists that are defined by the author actually. So to do this, you can just run it, and then this is we define the class for the pointer stemma first.
So I mean, if you wanted to apply this Potter stemma for another languages, if it has different rule set, so we just add on over there.
Yep. Yeah. That's the limitations of rule base. It only works if it found the exact matching. So in this case, that we have a lot of rule like ITI. So but if the word ends with S here, so it won't ITI, might be D with a typo there. So it won't stem it. So that's the limitation of a rule base. It won't get the context. But if we work on another language, then we have to define what is the patterns in that language to stem it. For instance, in Malay we have berbuka. So the prefix of ber in the stem word is buka. It's just that we have the prefix of ber. So in this case, the rule should have checking the ber and then remove it. Okay. So this basically in early days how the Potter stemmer proposed his work on the stemming. So to use that, we have to define our object, since we are using object oriented, and then we choose to s.stem, which is a one function there. It is one function, a stem. This function, a stem, consists of a series of steps that I mentioned just now. So we just have to pass our word, like for example, eats just now, and then we stem to eat. What else? Variety. Let's say what is variety or enjoying just now. Oops, sorry. Enjoying. I think there is a is consonants at level. It's okay. Is consonant here should be replaced. It's okay. We'll. Anyway, that is the intuitive lah, basically.
How about if we have irregular types of spelling, like mice become mouse, goose, geese?
Okay, that is rules. As I believe that this Potter stemmer can't get that one. Because this work on suffixes. So if we have those kind of word, then we have to proceed to the next step, which is lemmatization. Lemmatization is like a stemming. It's just that it take a context of the sentence as well and stem it and then return to its root word, not their stem word, but its root word. So
Okay.
So in this word, I will import NLTK, but first we have to install the NLTK first by installing NLTK. Okay, already satisfied. And then we can import the library. For simplicity's sake, we just import the library. And then we define our WordNet lemmatizer. Okay, and then we create a lemmatizer object equal to WordNet lemmatizer. Oops. So lemmatizer dot lemmatize. So we get as like eating just now. Oops. Books, I believe. Books. Then we get the books. Just now it's mounting. Is that a word, mounting? That's not, it's a word. So what's the main difference in stemming and lemmatization is the way the word is being written. For instance, this if you use the word beliefs and then we run it using a proto stemmer, so it will return a belief due to the set of rule. So it will remove the es here. So this we can't find any word actually in English dictionary that belief. So in this case, that proto stemmer tends to a bit overstemming lah in a way, because it's come with a set of rules. But if we use the lemmatization just now, we can know the context of belief that we return a belief. So this stemming and lemmatization works in a way that the same thing, but it's have its own differences. So you have to check whether what kind of work you want to use in your project. So, and okay, let's go to the second part, which is the specie. So we create a new Google Colab. Oops, not sure. So if for this one, we use demo 2. I'm not sure it's pre-installed or not yet installed. Okay, it's pre-installed. So luckily that this library specie is pre-installed for us, so we don't have to do any editing. So just now I touched a bit of recap on just now. Is we close this down. So a bit of recap just now. We touched a bit on the basic Python in 2 to 3 minutes, and then we go for tokenizations using two methods: spacing and ngram, and then we do a stemming using two methods, and then lematizations. So we have actually a library that is called specie that is designed specifically for NLP to do pre-processing, part of speech, and lots of applications. So first we import the library. Okay, so it's quite easy to use this one actually. So let's see first what has in this pipeline. So it comes with okay, this one is tagger, parser, and NER, which stand for name entity recognitions. Okay, let's go with this simple document. Okay, we take a sentence that we created in this area. Okay, this one. Tesla is looking at buying a US startup for 6 million. Tesla bestseller product is at Tesla Model S. So this is our document, and then we need to wrap around this sentence using the NLP function. So this way that we automatically uh, pass this string as an argument to specie, and then specie will do something behind it. It will pre-process to us. So what it pre-process for us is that we can straight away get our token dot one, then we can print token. Okay, so straight away we don't have to space, and then we don't have to do the spacing. We don't have to 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 check our spelling. So just now I mentioned that this one needs to be spaced, right? Because uh, if we did not put a space here, it's considered as this is a one whole word. But in NLP, in spacey, it will process for us automatically. Okay, sorry. 6 million. So here is dot a million, so it will be replaced as another dot. It's become one word in a way. So another thing about spacey is we can know what is the part of speech of this word. Uh, for example, we have looking is a verb, as buying as well as a verb, and then US here is a proper noun. Startup is a noun. 6 million, 6 is a noun, and then a dollar is a symbol. So it is a pre-processed automatically for us, as well as dependency passing. Okay, and subjectives, auxiliaries, root word, and then yeah, dependency passing is it's hard to be seen here. We have to go with a graph actually, but for this sake, I'll just show you the token lah. Token and is a part of speech tagging. Mm, okay, just now I touched on lemmatization. So we have document 1, I believe. Okay, we have this document just now, series of words. So we can get the lemma of the word by using the for token in doc1. Then we can print, of course we print the token first. Token dot lemma, I guess. Yeah, lemma. And what else we can see is okay, just now we show the POS part. Hmm. Okay, so lemmatization, as I mentioned just now, is a process for us to get a root word. So not necessary is to be the word is a B, and then looking has to be a look, buying as a buy, and then what else? Best is their lemma is a good, and is actually B, and that's it lah. So that's about our tokenizations, lemmatizations, and then it comes with a set of oops, stop word. So NLP is our specie object. Okay, in stop words is a series of words uh that occurs in a paragraph in corpus in many times, but it does not give a significant meaning. So let's say if you remove like alone in that paragraph, so the context should retain the same. So this it comes with its own a default stop words, which is in English, which at least comprises of quite a lot of 326 words of NLP of default stock words. So I think that's a bit of sharing how we can do basic text processing using a manual work, and then using our simple library called specie. Okay, I will share with you one thing. So for stop word, we can actually get it from here. So this is the site lah where you can get stop word in many languages, 40 plus. So this is for English. I'm not sure whether we have for Malay, but Indonesian we do have. So this is ada, dia, makin semua. So this one is Indonesian in the Malay lah. So it comes together. For another word as well, if you are from Arabs, so you can get it from here. Maybe you are Japanese or Chinese. And then there is one last thing I want to share is okay. Okay, I'm apologies that I can't find the tools that okay, send me demo. Okay. So to further, you can go to this site, that's processing. You can see a demo by yourself lah. I will leave the link in here. So basically, we can actually know, we can choose our stemmer. That's why there are lots of stemmer actually. So just now, just touch a bit on Porter. So actually, we have lots of it. Vernier is stemming is stemming is stem into its stem word, and then loving into its love. So another one is okay, sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis is one of the text classification tool where we can actually know what is the either the comments or the sentence actually positive or negative, even a neutral. So let's say I have a comment of great movies, then it shows that the tag is positive. In terms of polarity, is more weighted to positive side. So let's say I say Dr. Rohana is kind, for sure it should be a positive. So it have a positive increment. What else? So Amin is a bad guy. So it's a negative, highly correlated to a negative. So this is one of the tools that we use in sentiment analysis. So yeah, I think that's it for the sharing a bit. I think it's quite a simple thing.
I mean, co-location, you didn't touch co-location?
Yeah.
Like word net example or something. If you have that one, that will be better.
Sorry, doctor. I just used the word net for stemming just now.
Oh, okay.
Lemmatization, yeah.
But I mean, I think you do have library for co-location, because co-location is more towards partner word, isn't it? I mean, from one location to another location. I mean, they always partner together.
Okay.
Can you try? Can you try? Do I think it does have co-location?
It does have, but I did not use on Spacey lah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay, doctor? So far, I think because Spacey actually we don't have to code much on Spacey. It's done on us on the background. So I just show you what in comparison lah, side by side.
But from your experience, you would advise us to use Spacey, or is it better to do it manually? I mean do it our own coding.
For time saving, if you are in a tight schedule in your project or personal project, you want to implement an English NLP project, then you can straight away use a Spacey. Just bear in mind that you requires quite an extensive server. But if you have a time and then you want to work on like a students that they are FYPs, so I highly recommend you to work on manual, because when you have using libraries, just as you can see, libraries call is just one dot and then you can call the functions, so you did not know how it works on the behinds. So when the output does not aligns with what you expect, so this will, you won't know where you want to do the troubleshooting if you use the library. But on the other hand, if you use the manual part, you know exactly which part need to be tweaked so that your output aligns with what your expectations. So in short, that if you are working your to the students, if you are working for your FYP project, high likely that you should be using the manual part. And if you work on or like freelance or even for your work like industrial work, then just go straight away for Spacey, because industrial love to be fast. Hope that answer it, doctor.
All right. Everyone, do you have any question or anything that you wanted to ask? I think most of the students already quite familiar with Python.
That's great. So, okay, I think we stop sharing for now. Okay, doctor.
Yes. Students, anything? Anything that you wanted to ask from Amin?
How good does the NLP handle like spelling errors?
Pardon? Errors?
Like how NLP, if they like a certain sentence like we accidentally mistyped a word, does it like fix it or deem it as another word?
So for Spacey
Spelling.
for spelling, I believe is short form. For some general short form or slang, the Spacey in English, Spacey can help to cater that problem, like LOL, IKR, I know, right? Like IRL in real life. So those very common short form or slang can work on Spacey. But if you are working for Malay, then it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, while waiting for this question, do you have your, sorry, because I didn't ask you to do that. If you wanted to share your project a bit, your current project or your FYP?
FYP,
You are doing FYP? No?
yeah, I'm doing NLP, just that I did
Yeah.
not deploy it to be shown in a very impromptu way.
Yeah, you can actually just explain, because there are students who are doing FYP also now.
Okay, hang on. I try to see whether this one I presented to.
If you have your slide for your FYP, maybe you can always share if you have it with you. Okay, you can search for it. But for the students, do you have any questions? Anything that you wanted to ask on NLP project or
Share screen.
Python or something like that?
Window. Machine learning for political. Okay, so this is what I worked previously with Dr. Norisma, whereby this is it's just a name of Santipati lah. So basically, what I did was I collecting tweets that are mentions regarding to political lah. So this one is for PKR. So I collect tweets that I mention weekly, and then last week, this in early of March. So this basically a very simple application lah. It's a sentiment analysis whereby get the the tweets that they are mentioned, and then we find whether there is a neutral statements, or is it a negative statements or positive statements. And then for this PKR, we collect who actually mentioning, which tweets actually mentioning that PKR punya uh, PKR punya Twitter page, and then we using a sentiment analysis, we classify which tweet is actually a neutral, like this one, Memoto, and so on. Usually, mostly our written in Malay lah. So this work actually work on Malay, and then we tabulated it. We want to see what kind of word that these people are talking about. So back in early of March, they are most talking about PRN, because that time PRN is around the corner. So the most word that I tabulated is PRN lah. RT is basically is word, and then letak calon, and then calon-calon, because it's around the PRN Johor. So if I were to collect today, so this tabulation, we call it as word cloud chart. So it should looks different. So negative part, here is example of negative parts. I believe that because it contain this perkataan bodoh, so it's straight away the sentence are more prone to negative sentiments. So it come with another part juga lah. So this one is a fairly like a simple project, not much. Ya, ini je doktor, dan boleh tunjuk secara impromptu lah.
Nak tanya. Hello.
Dengar.
Nak tanya, kan you use Twitter's dataset, right? From Twitter, right? Are you using the Twitter data scraping API, or how do you usually get datasets, especially?
Okay, great question lah. Because Twitter is quite a good source of data collection, data mining place. So there are two parts when you want to do collection from Twitter or any social media. So you can go with their Twitter developer teams and apply for Twitter developer application, something lah. If I'm not mistaken, you can get a tokens, but that token is limited to like 2 weeks or 3 weeks latest tweet. So you can't go back to last year tweet or last few months tweets. So what I did for this project is in my project I requires to go quite a long period of tweets. So I use a scraping API. I scrap using I search from the Twitter using set of keyword, and then I collect lah how, like, there's no maximum how I collect lah. From the result page, then I save all those tweets, including the tweet handles, the time frame, and so on.
Yeah, thank you.
Most welcome. So I will share with you in the chat. So this is the library that I use, which is called as Scrap. So it comes with Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Telegram as well, but I'm use only Twitter lah. Hope this help you if you are using for FYP. So is any other question to the floors? Okay, we don't have floors here. Might be to the screens lah, I guess. Oh yeah.
Hi everyone, are you okay? Already 1 hour now. Are you following the practical exercise? It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime now. Everyone must be sleepy and so hungry. Okay. Just another 5 minutes. If you have any question from Amin. I mean, you can share your email if they wanted to ask question. You?
No, doctor. What was the most difficult part when you were doing the scraping? Um, Scraping is mostly, if you are talking about scraping the social media, then the main difficulty is the noisy words. Malays are quite
Mix.
very professional lah when it comes to a short
Mixing.
form viral words, okay? And so those things requires for you to go one by one. If you are social media user, so you can grasp, is it? Another part in social media is the sarcastic. Sometimes the words have in the context of the sentence you look is have a positive context, but actually it means something behind lah. Usually in political domains. If with scraping a news, but I was collecting like scraping the Malaysia Kini to create some sort of data set for my research. It's not difficult. It's just that different sites have different HTML tags, different structure lah in a way. So you have to look very closely on each page. Where is the paragraph tags, H1 tags, so that you can get the tags. So it depends on which site you want to scrap lah. So it have different difficulties. Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Okay, most welcome. I can update the animation for sentiment.
Hi, Amin.
Yes.
Can I ask a question regarding, have you done tax classification before?
Tax classification for?
For maybe like social media posts?
Okay. I did just sentiment analysis lah. So in the broad category, tax classification is basically we want to classify it into a certain class. So in the context for sentiment analysis, we classify into class of positive, negative, and neutral. So that's what I did. Using it during my during my FYP, I did a bit more detail of sentiment analysis where I can know exactly where is the words that contribute to the sentiment analysis. For instance, like I say that you look stupid. So in one sentence is this one sentence looks a negative, but the contributing word is actually the stupid one. So yeah, that's what I did. We call it as aspect-based sentiment analysis.
Okay, so what library would you suggest, recommend for this kind of task?
Okay. Okay. Let's say what's class? What kind of domain you want to classify? Is it a certain domain ke?
Sort of like, for example, I would like to classify text into like, if this is for climate change or the other topic, different kind of topics, for example, 7 classes. Is that possible?
Okay. It's possible. When you are mentioning the word topic, it came to my mind there is a method we call as topic modeling. So this is an unsupervised method whereby you have a set of corpus. For example, corpus here we have sentence like 1000 sentence. So you want to find a hidden patterns, a hidden topic in that one corpus, in that 1000 sentence, and you can use a technique called topic modeling. Specifically, an algorithm I used back then is LDA, latent ratio allocations, and what else? Another one I forgot, but LDA lah. This is a unsupervised methods for you to classify a corpus, a set of sentence into topic labels 1 to 7. But if you want to go for a supervised method, then there are lots of machine learning model like random forest, I believe SVM, support vector machine, what else? And the list goes on lah. It's just that when you want to use that machine learning model, you in the context of supervised machine learning, you have to prepare the data set in a label. So let's say that you have 1,000 sentence. First, you have to annotate each sentence, which sentence actually referring to which level. For example, like climate change, hot sun, raining, or maybe landslide. So you have first to have to define what is the class, and then throughout all those 1,000 sentence, let's say 1,000, you have to annotate first which sentence belong to which classes, and then you can train the machine learning model to uh, classify for you. Hope that answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Okay, the last question. Okay, this one. Did you use any kind of deep learning or machine learning for the sentiment research you did at transfer learning? I did not use any transfer learning, but since that the demo I showed just now, the election one, is using a deep learning model from Malaya Jihad. So it comes with a pre-trained model. So it's quite easy for me to do it. Since in the Malay language is quite hard for us to train in it from scratch. It's a time consuming to create the data set. So since my schedule is quite tight, so I just have to use the pre-trained model from the Jihad. Who answer your question, yeah, Afiq Farhan. Okay, doctor, I think I over the time ke?
No, you have until you have still have 30 minutes more.
Oh, 30 minutes. Oh, I thought it's up until 1
Two.
hour. Oh,
It's two.
2. Okay. Oh, I stopped quite early lah then.
It's
Sorry.
okay.
I thought I thought the sharing session was 1 hour, so that I
Oh,
just
yeah, but 1.5 hour. I mean, we will open for question actually if students have any questions. However, I think most of them is still at the starting of their FYP,
mm,
still at the
yeah.
literature review.
Uh,
Okay, anyway, in terms of just now, it's very interesting. We still there are few students or researcher doing research in um, Malaysian short form normalizer, isn't it? You are also your master also you are working on it, isn't it? So maybe we can open for everyone here to how are we going to do with this short form? What is the issues with our Malaysian apa ni?
short form, yeah.
Short form ni. How we one thing, the challenge with Malaysian, because one, we are using mixed language. It is I'm not sure. Maybe part of your research nanti you can check if others they are really doing mixed language. We are the I think the most one is because we are satu Malaysia, because one our communities we are different culture and everyone. We can as a Malaysian we can know the context anytime. No matter how we mix the language kan. For Malaysian, I mean we are using Tamil, maybe Hokkien, Mandarin plus Malay. You can combine and become one word, one sentence, all of us can understand. So that is one thing. And then some more, the urban group will, and like us, all of you will use a mixed language. I mean, English and Bahasa, there is one, there is standard language. And another one, some more, we are using, Malaysian is very unique because we came from 14 states, isn't it? So we also have dialect that you mix. Okay, so all those are the challenges of our mixed language. If in Indonesian they call this as bahasa gaul. We can for Malay we can always refer to Indonesian. However, I'm not sure either they are in terms of mixing with English. Is it how bad is ours compared to them? I mean, our mixed language. Okay, anyone have an idea? Because this is a continuous issues,
Just now, Doctor mentioned a few types problem that actually I'm working on. The first one is short form lah. It's quite popular in our social media users. In fact, in our might be in forum and so on. So social medias, and then our slang, and then the slang, a dialect. I mean a dialect, and then the code mix. Code mix is actually when we are combining several languages in one set of sentence. This usually when we can see that our main language is bahasa, right? Bahasa Melayu. So most people like writing in a mix of bahasa and English. I can't come up with impromptu sentence, but something like, if I'm not mistaken, there is a statement came out from the JKR from Sarawak about the some sort of bridge lah. So the statement are written in well code mix lah. It's kind of funny when you are releasing an official statement, but you are releasing in a code mix manner. It's like uh okay, it's a sentence like something like Ketua Kampung did not address this in a good way, for example. So it should be that Ketua Kampung is from Malay word, but addressing this issue is from the English word. So this kind of patterns in our Malay that we are tends to write in this code mix manner. So how do we address this dialect and then code mix is using a set of data. Basically, we collect hundreds of thousands of data from social media, which contain that noisy word, and then we have to annotate the line by line. Means that, for instance, just now Ketua Kampung is not addressing this issue properly, and that's one sentence. And then we have to create, they have to do an annotation like the chief village is not addressing this issue probably. So using these two set of sentence, we can train machine translations, a model basically, to understand the context of word in that sentence by looking the word before and after. And
Collocation. That's what you call
yeah,
as collocation.
yeah,
Yeah.
phrases.
Yeah. You can use
It was it have a bit of further technique like a bidirectional, like you when read the left to right, right to left. So in that manner, in that way, we can train a deep learning or many machine learning model to get to do the translation for dialect translation for us. It's just that in Malay we have one rule, not a rule of thumb, a general problem which is data set. We don't have the data set for that one. So in that way, for those who are working on that, or any researcher that are working on NLP work, tends to need to create their own data set lah. Since we have a time, I believe I can share how I collect data might be. So this not sure whether is helpful or not helpful, but since we have time,
yes. Yeah, you can proceed because I just thinking macam mana sampai bila kita nak I mean I don't know, all of you are coming programmers, I mean future programmers. If you have a proposal, how are we going to solve? Because language will never end, you know. There must be a way that you can generalize, and maybe we need to, those who are also taking KRR, so this is where we need a knowledge base and maybe a corpus. Because current NLP work, after you process it, I mean, we didn't develop the lexicon out of it. You know, we have a few PhD students working on Malay language, or not necessarily for Malay. You know, any mixed language, kind of mixed language. Okay, so we need to think of that. For expert-based sentiment for English, do you have any suggestion on what deep learning technique?
deep learning technique for aspect-based sentiment analysis.
This is our main project, I think.
But then I can't remember exact model I use. I think it's a recurrent neural network. It's based on recurrent network. It's just specifically which kind of architecture I use. I can't remember. If you are suggesting a model, then I would suggest to go for a pre-trained transformer, because in the direction of research NLP research area, specifically in English, they don't go for scratch training lah. You collect the data from scratch, and then train the model for hours or days. Usually they use a transformer that is pre-trained by those tech giants like Facebook, Google. They are releasing like BERT, T5. So those transformer actually come with we call that as a language model. Because it's heavily trained on millions of sentences, so the model actually can actually know can not is know is can create uh, word to words, the correlation between word to word. If you want to use the for specific task like aspect based sentiment analysis, you can use that language model, and then you tweak at the last layer of the model. Might be you can tweak to entropy layer, you can change it, and then that serve your purpose of do the predictions lah. So what I suggest to you is to go for a deep learning model, a language model like a transformer lah, but like a T5. Okay, so scrapping just now. Scrapping. Okay, most welcome.
If anyone have a proposal or anything, you can in the department, okay, Dr. Risma and myself, we are starting our NLP. In fact, Dr. Aznul also, we are starting to set up our research group. Okay, we have quite a few doing machine learning. I mean, in terms of the academician. For NLP group, maybe we have lesser. We have not. Cik Rizwan is already retired. We are looking for more students doing NLP, and in fact now the group from data science group also joining us for unstructured text. Okay, Dr. Kasturi. Okay, Dr. Kasturi also doing mining. Okay, so we welcome all students to join us for doing more research on text processing. Okay. Okay, if while waiting for that, if you have any other questions, okay, you can put it in the chat, and maybe tomorrow we will let you to. I will upload some exercise for you to do this. For this text processing using Python, so you can continue do the exercise to practice with the tool. Okay. Another thing is okay, just a reminder. Okay. You will have a quiz next week, students. Which is 15%. This is alternative assessment. Okay. It will be next week. Okay, next week. I will update the time and so on. Okay, and your assignment will be discussed tomorrow. Dr. Risma will explain it. I think it will be about 2 weeks task. Okay. All right, I mean, you go back to you.
Okay.
If you have anything to demonstrate first. If
I think the last one will be since people just now someone asked me how to do the data collection from Twitter, so I'm afraid that is related to his work.
will it be good?
Can you see my screen, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so there is a function here. Just now we can let's see. As an scrap, this is one of this is the library that I share in the chat just now. So how it works is fairly very easy because we can just okay, for instance, I want to search for keadilan lah some sort. I can't come to my mind what is, but I want to know who are actually mentioning keadilan punya page lah. For example, like this one. So in Twitter scraper APIs library, you can just specify your search query here, and then you can straight away get the the oopsie the tweets ranging from here. So let's say, so this one actually jawab anda bakal melingkup kan. So it's actually match the list here, bau data Twitter. It's actually bau data Twitter. So it's fairly easy for you if you are working on FYP and you want to collect data from your social media. Then this should be your the library that can use lah. It's very simple. Just a few code, like not 100 lah. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and less than 10 lines. You can get the data, and there is no limits on how you can get here. So there is less hassle because you don't have to sign up for Twitter data, Twitter developer account, and then it comes with quite extensive information. We can get the date time and tweet ID. Tweet ID here is referring to your, if you open this in a separate, okay, in a separate tab, then you will get the ID lah. Okay, and then you can get the tags as well as you can get the username here. So that is a bit on how you can collect data from social media. So another one, not this one, but okay, scrapping. So this most likely a sharing about how you can do data collection on your own.
Now you know that people are watching you. Anything you type, that's why cepat je. I mean, that's why the police will come to you. SKMM will come to you directly because they have all your ID and everything. Yeah, okay.
It's possible actually. Not this one window. You can see my window, isn't it? So this is one of data collection technique, is whereby you collect data from a certain page. So I believe that you know that in the website we have a dot site. Okay, you have HTML, right? So for instance, you want to get a Malaysia Kini news, because Malaysia Kini is a platform where you can share. They write in a very formal Malay text, and then you can use it as data collection lah, might be. So you want to collect this data. So if it's not intelligent way for you to go lots of site like terkini, for instance, and then you select one, and then you can collect, copy paste and copy paste. So there is one way, a manual way, but there is actually a automated way whereby you can search for its which tag you is working on. For example, this one. So this one is a p tag. Is a div, basically is under div. So I can what I did was I go to this link, I browse this link, and then I find a full container ID, which have a full container, and then get its all the text here. So a fairly simple way lah. So I get it here. So what I have to do is I can iterate for quite a numbers juga. I managed to get 1,700 links for Malaysia Kini, and I just repeat the same step. collecting hundreds and hundreds, just copy paste here. So imagine the time I have to do if I were to go manually to get 1,700 articles one by one. So in this set of a few lines of code, I believe it's 58 lines of code. I just have to wait for 30 minutes, I guess. I let it run, and then I have 1,100, and then the unique one will be 1,700. So there's a redundant link, but it's fairly simple. In just 30 minutes, you can do a data collections. So this is just one example that you can do. It's a technique called web scraping. If the website itself doesn't provide you an APIs for you to get the data, then you can hard code it yourself and get it the data by yourself. It's just that the difficulty, not difficulty, it's just that each site have its different HTML tagging, so you have to go one by one each site. So for me, I just use Malaysia Kini, and it serves my purpose whereby I can collect 1,700 articles, and in total of 60,000 sentences. So yeah, so this is one of the way that you can do your data collection lah if you are working for NLP project in your FYP. Alright. Okay, I think that's it lah, Doctor.
Okay, there's one question over there too. Is it the same method of data for user review?
Is it the same method of data collection technique for user review? Let's say comments on trip.
Different, yeah, different platform.
Same. If you are talking about data collection, then yes, since Agoda TripAdvisor does not provide an APIs for you to easily get those comments, so you have to hard code yourself, or you can email to them, and then let's say if in fortunate way that they provide you APIs to their comments database, then it's really good. But it will be a time consuming for you to wait for them. So if you can't wait, then you can just grab from their site. Yeah, you can do this camping. This one is fairly simple. Even scrapping, usually during my internship, I use scrapping and then integrate with some sort of automation. So I know that in Top Glove have some sort of flows of business whereby they use a web page. So I know what I did was I create a program and then do a scheduling at 1 a.m. in the morning, and then they have to check from the database and do the click this button, click that button, go navigate to that button. It basically an automations. So if you have some sort of repetitive tasks that you have to do in early of the morning, you have to like sign in to a certain like Shopee to collect your coins, might be a voucher, then you might can use this scrapping method and integrate and do a script to automate the voucher collection way lah. So it's quite it's extensive lah. It's just that you have to understand how the web page works and what is the flow you have to define first, then you can just create the script lah.
All right. Okay, everyone. I think they have question, but maybe later on.
All right, most welcome.
Okay. That's it, Amin. Anything else you wanted to add on?
No, I think that's it. It's quite an impromptu one.
Practice untuk jadi lecturer nanti.
Inshallah.
Okay, everyone, give a big applause to Amin. Okay, and actually he's around doing his NLP project. Maybe I think you can always in touch with him. And I think that's it for today. Okay, I think it will be good for today. We will continue another pipeline in NLP. We will go. What we are doing now is most towards just structure. We will go towards meaning after this. We go to semantic and also discourse level. Okay. And that's it, I think. Okay, for today class, we didn't have our break just now, so I think we can stop early is for now, and then we will continue tomorrow. Okay, say thank you to Amin, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Amin.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks
Doctor.
Amin.
Bye.
Thank you. I really appreciate your demonstration here. Thank you. See you
Most welcome.
again. Okay, thanks everyone. Thank you everyone. See you again tomorrow. Okay.